guys, welcome back to my channel. As your girl Scarlett here today, and if you are new, hit the subscribe button down below so you do not miss a future upload. And today I'm continuing with my top 10 of blank, so of artists, songs I listen to. I don't know, I use Favorite Music Guru just so you guys know how I curate my list. And today's artist is going to be the Bee Gees. So without further ado, let's just get right into my top 10 most listened to Bee Gees songs of all time. So to give a little backstory of how I listened or discovered the Bee Gees, literally, you guys are going to laugh if you're not new or if you're new, depending on whoever's watching this video. I did not know Andy Gibb and the Bee Gees were related when I started listening to Andy Gibb in 2017. I know, how stupid was I? I was 15. I was very gullible, or not gullible, what's the word? Naive? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. So I didn't know that they were related, and I started listening to the Bee Gees in like later in 2017, early 2018, and ever since then, the Gibbs have been in our house. My parents both listened to well, my mom's an Andy Gibb fan, my dad was a Bee Gees fan, so it's kind of in my DNA, but I feel like we as in me and my sister discovered them on our own, really, especially a lot of the later songs. So let's just get into the list. So number 1 is You Win Again. This song specifically, I don't know what it is. I don't think the lyrics, I take it the way the Gibbs wrote it and sang it, but I felt like it was like my anthem in 2021 and 2022 because I won again. Like I won. I kept myself like, you know, on track of everything I was going through. So it definitely was like an anthem for myself. Number 2, which Sissy's gonna get so mad at me because she introduced me to the song, and I think it's one of her favorites too, but like this is like my baby. I love this song so much. My World. I don't know what it is about My World. It comes off, I think, Life in a Tin Can, correct me if I'm wrong, Sissy, BG Fanatics. And I don't know, I think it's just the way that Robin does the song, his vocals in it, and then like Barry too, like those two together did really well on the song, and it's just one of my favorites. Number 3, House of Shame. So this comes off the one album that they did in 1989 after Andy passed away. I feel like Mo finally got his voice indirectly during this time period. He realized, I think, more so that he wasn't just the man in the middle, and he had just as much talent as Robin and Barry when it came to singing lead on a lot of the songs. I digress. I feel like, in my personal opinion, love Robin, but my favorite voices of the Gibbs is always gonna be Andy, Mo, Robin, then Barry. But all together, collectively, they were like $1 million like voice. Is it quartet? Is that the word I'm looking for? They could have done so much together, and I get so mad when I think about what could have been, especially since Andy passed away so young. I digress. But going back to House of Shame, I just love the vocals. I don't know if it's just because it's like, I don't know, like good girl versus bad boy. I don't know. I don't know. I digress. I always say the word. I know Cecile's like, I always say digress. It's just my favorite word to say. Number 4 is actually one. I think this became more of my favorite song recently. So my favorite like era of the Bee Gees right now is like the 1987 to 1989 music period that they had. So if you can't tell, I've become more obsessed with their later music, which I talked about in my Andy Gibb video. I'll link that at the end. Years ago when I first started listening to them, I didn't realize what good music they had put out later towards like after Andy's passing. Again, don't know what was in my brain when I thought like, oh, I can't listen to this, like, oh my gosh, Andy's not here, you know, like I don't know if anybody else gets that way. Maybe it's just my way of coping, I don't know. But again, the one album is definitely like that one album that you can tell they had so much passion and life put into it, because they knew if they didn't do what they did then, they didn't want to end up like what Andy did and left behind a legacy, but had so much left to do, if that makes sense. Number 5 is Secret Love. I love this song so much. I can't remember if it's off High Civilization. I think it's off High Civilization. I'm trying to remember the albums as I'm going. I just wrote down the songs. Love this song. The music video is kind of like, I like the music video too. I don't get like part of it, if that makes sense. It's just one of those songs that I just love so much. Number 6, and I'm gonna probably pronounce it wrong. Omega Man. Again, guess who sings lead on it? Mo sings lead on it. It's kind of a sexy song, so take that with what you will. It's definitely, you could definitely tell who like brought the ideas to the studio, if you get my drift. I feel like out of all the brothers, Mo was very like a certain way driven. I can't say that word. on the internet. Probably this video would get flagged, but out of all of them, I think he was the most like that put himself out there. That's saying what that's saying. Great vocal performance, great song. Number 7, and this ended up on my Andy Gibb top songs via YouTube, because he covered this song a lot in the 80s, but his brothers were the ones that wrote it and did it first. It is Words. Again, love both versions. Of course, I'll probably always be biased for Andy's version, but of course the original version, Barry being so young, singing from the soul, and then of course as the years progressed and they would perform it live, absolutely beautiful. Number 8, Nights on Broadway. I really don't know when I listened to this song, like, not gonna lie, or how come it's so high up on my like streaming. I love the main chorus album, so that's probably why I sat there and a couple times throughout the last couple years I've been like, I feel like that's like my summer album, but I really don't know why Nights on Broadway is really up there. I mean, I love the progression of like the vocals and stuff, Robin and Barry harmonizing. Of course, Mo, there's a live performance of them doing Nights on Broadway where Mo does a lot of the falsetto. Blew my mind. Number 9 is Mr. Natural. This song I feel like is kind of underrated for a lot of reasons, because it's definitely one of like my favorite Robin vocal performances, but I feel like nobody talks about the Mr. Natural album a lot, because it was like in that time frame, like 71, 70, like early 72 to early 75. The music between those years, they just were not being like pushed on public radio a lot. They had the hit with How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, Can't Even Talk, and Lonely Days in 71, and then it kind of like was like a dry spell until like early 75, mid 75, when Jive Talking, Nights on Broadway, the main chorus album came out, and then they went back up in stardom, and then it started that climb up the charts again. But definitely one of my favorites. And last but not least, number 10, Giving Up the Ghost. This is off, I think it's off ESP. That's the picture that I have on my Spotify playlist. It is another one of the songs from the later 80s. So good. Such a vibe. I don't know if they were like tapping into like spiritual realms and stuff. You can go listen to the ESP album. I feel like that's what they really like focused on, was like that again, like literally ESP supernatural stuff, which was kind of creepy if you think about what happened the year or two after the album came out with Andy, which is kind of weird. But again, love the Bee Gees, love the good music, and that is my top 10 songs that I listen to all the time of the Gibb Brothers, aka the Bee Gees. Couple honorable mentions before I close this video out. So of course, I don't know why it's not higher up on there, but I really do love How Can You Mend a Broken Heart. That and World from the Horizontal album. Those two are like the ones that actually made me like the Bee Gees music a lot more. Like, nothing wrong with and I say it like this, disco era, because again, as they said in a lot of interviews and stuff, they did not invent disco. They just created R&B tracks, and that is what made their rise and fall to fame again from late 70s to early 80s be so dramatic. But all I knew was like Night Fever, Staying Alive, and like they're really great tracks, don't get me wrong. But like, I, for one, don't like all the falsetto. I really like their more like ballads. So definitely all the mentions there. And then another one, Wildflower, which again, who sings lead? Mo. I seem like a big Mo fan. I'm just like posting his like songs and stuff because I feel like those are so underrated. But thank you guys so much for watching another video on my channel. If you did like it, give this video a big thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe because it is free. And check out the playlist at the end for all the Spotify top 10 songs of certain artists. I'm going through and seeing who I also listen to a lot. Spencer Sutherland that might be coming up next, and maybe Mamas and Papas. But we'll catch you guys in one of my next videos. Hopefully soon. Love you. Bye.